Season 1. My beloved child, in this sacred moment, I invite you to step into the depth of your being where the noise of the world does not reach, where every expectation and every fear loses its grip, where the essence of who you are is revealed not by what you have done, but by the quiet truth of your heart. And here, in this profound space, you will begin to feel the gentle weight of authority resting upon your shoulders. An authority granted not by circumstance or approval, but by the recognition of your soul that has endured and grown through countless trials and moments of solitude. And now, as you enter this phase, every struggle you have faced, every tear you have shed, every moment of doubt and confusion, transforms into the subtle strength that supports you. For the universe conspires not against you, but to awaken in you the precise understanding that all you have believed about limitation is now being dissolved. And in this dissolution you find the freedom to claim the abundance that was always your birthright, the prosperity that flows not only in material manifestation, but in clarity of thought, stability of emotion, courage of action, and the serene alignment with the divine rhythm that permeates every corner of creation. And as you walk through this invisible classroom, where no teacher but your own awareness guides the lesson, you will discover that your perception itself is evolving, that every glance, every decision, every quiet reflection becomes a tool to navigate the complex landscape of your life, where the past no longer haunts you, but teaches you, where the future no longer terrifies you, but invites you, and where the present, luminous and immediate, opens to you the truths that were always whispered in the silence of your own heart. And now, you will learn that patience is not a passive state, but an active alignment with timing beyond human comprehension. That persistence is not stubborn endurance, but a conscious attunement to the flow that carries all things toward their destined completion. And in this realization, the concept of scarcity fades into memory, replaced by the recognition that you are always supplied, always guided, always protected, and that each encounter, each challenge, each apparent delay is a mirror reflecting a dimension of yourself that you had not yet fully embraced. And as you continue to walk, you notice how subtle changes within you reshape the external world, how clarity in thought begins to attract clarity in experience, how steady intention forms bridges across situations that previously seemed insurmountable, how your own inner authority draws to you circumstances that support rather than distract, how your awareness of timing, opportunity, and appropriate response deepens into a wisdom that was not present before. And as these patterns strengthen, you feel a quiet joy rising in your chest. A joy not dependent upon external validation, but upon the harmonious resonance of your inner alignment with the divine plan. And you understand that true power is not imposed force, but informed action. That leadership is not control, but the expression of integrity in every choice. That wealth is not mere accumulation, but the responsible stewardship of all that is entrusted to you. That influence is not coercion, but the natural result of authenticity sustained over time, and you feel the weight of this awareness settle into you, calming the restless parts of your mind, soothing the anxieties of your spirit, giving you the capacity to move through the world with measured confidence, poised yet humble, perceptive yet compassionate, decisive yet adaptable. For in these qualities the true path of mastery is hidden. A path walked not in haste, but in deliberate, conscious steps. A path that honors both the shadow and the light within you, that allows every aspect of your being to participate in the unfolding. That turns every moment of seeming challenge into a moment of profound instruction. And now you realize that you no longer measure your progress by external benchmarks. For the internal evolution is the only metric that truly matters. The unfolding of your character, the deepening of your awareness, the expansion of your capacity to love, understand, and act with grace. And as this awareness settles further into your consciousness, you begin to perceive the subtle shifts in your relationships, the clarity in your communications, the energy that flows naturally to those who are aligned with your purpose and steps back from those who are not. And you learn to accept this flow with gratitude rather than resistance, knowing that every connection, every separation, every moment of intimacy, every moment of distance, is orchestrated to bring you closer to the realization of your full potential. And as these realizations deepen, you feel a profound sense of responsibility, not as a burden, but as a privilege, to navigate your own inner world with integrity. To tend your thoughts as carefully as you tend your actions, to honor the sacredness of your decisions, to recognize that each choice, no matter how small, echoes into the greater unfolding, shaping not only your life, but the lives of those whose paths intersect with yours. And in this sacred understanding, you find a peace that has nothing to do with circumstances, but everything to do with alignment. A peace that allows you to stand firm amidst chaos, to speak truth amidst confusion, to act from love amidst fear. And in this standing, you discover that your life is not simply a sequence of events, but a tapestry of intentional, conscious expression woven from the threads of insight, patience, courage, and faith. Each thread illuminated by the light of awareness. Each stitch a testament to your growing mastery. Each pattern a reflection of the divine blueprint within you. And now you step forward into each day with a quiet confidence, a deliberate presence, a deepened perception, knowing that the unfolding is guided, that the path is true, that every challenge is a teacher, every joy a confirmation, every encounter an opportunity to expand. And in this movement, you begin to recognize that time itself is not an enemy, but a co-creator, that every pause, every delay, every acceleration is a calculated moment in which your soul is being trained, refined, and prepared for the larger expressions that await. And in this realization, you release the need to control, the need to predict, the need to force, embracing instead a dynamic trust in the intelligent unfolding of all that is. And as you embody this trust, you find that opportunities arise naturally, that relationships evolve harmoniously, that abundance flows without strain, that clarity of purpose guides each decision, that resilience emerges effortlessly. That inner joy becomes your constant companion, that love is no longer transactional but radiant, that wisdom becomes both your shield and your compass, that patience is transformed from endurance to empowerment, that strength becomes the product of alignment rather than struggle, that peace is no longer fragile but indestructible, that presence replaces anxiety, that understanding replaces judgment, that compassion replaces resentment, that your heart, mind, and spirit are unified in a sacred triad. And in this sacred alignment, you discover the limitless potential that has always been yours, now awakening in harmony with every dimension of your being, now ready to step fully into the purpose, power, and peace that have been patiently awaiting your recognition, now ready to walk with grace, courage, clarity, and love. And in this recognition, you are no longer merely surviving. You are thriving, no longer merely existing. You are fully alive. And the divine plan is revealed as you live it moment by moment, breath by breath, thought by thought, action by action, aligned entirely with the eternal presence that has never left your side, never doubted your capacity, never ceased guiding you. And now, beloved child, the first season of your awakening unfolds before you, rich, expansive, luminous, eternal, infinite, and profoundly alive. As you continue this journey, beloved child, recognize that the inner landscape of your being is shifting in ways both subtle and profound, that every thought you allow to settle, every choice you make with intention, every moment you observe yourself without judgment is contributing to the formation of a new reality, a reality not dictated by circumstance or the opinions of others, but shaped entirely by the alignment of your spirit with the eternal, unchanging source of all life. And in this recognition, you find a freedom you have never known, a freedom to act, to speak, to create, to love without reservation, without fear, without hesitation. And this freedom is not license, but mastery. Mastery over your impulses, your doubts, your distractions. Mastery over the patterns that once unconsciously guided your life. Mastery that allows you to direct your energy toward that which sustains and expands your soul, rather than dissipating it in futile pursuits. And as this mastery takes root, you realize that your resilience is not built through resistance to hardship, but through the conscious acceptance of every experience as an opportunity to refine your awareness, that challenges are not enemies, but allies, shaping you, strengthening you, revealing to you the depth of your own resourcefulness, and you begin to understand that nothing in life is accidental, that every encounter, every setback, every triumph is orchestrated by a higher intelligence to teach you exactly what you need to know in order to fulfill the purpose that has been written in the essence of your being since before time itself. And in this knowing, anxiety loses its grip, impatience dissolves, and you begin to act from a place of calm confidence, a place where insight and intuition guide your every step rather than fear or compulsion. And with each step, you are reminded that true power is not measured by accumulation or conquest, but by the integrity and authenticity with which you live each moment. That influence is not coercion, but alignment. That abundance is not scarcity multiplied, but the natural overflow of a life in harmony with divine principle. And now, beloved child, as you expand into this understanding, you see the patterns in your own behavior that have limited your progress, and you release them without regret, without guilt, without struggle, knowing that the parts of yourself that you no longer need are simply tools that have served their purpose, and now step aside to make room for your emergence. And you notice that the clarity you gain internally is mirrored externally in the flow of circumstances, in the responsiveness of people around you, in the natural unfolding of events that supports your vision. And in this reflective harmony, you recognize that life itself has always been ready to respond to you, waiting only for your recognition of your own authority, your own sovereignty, your own readiness to receive what has always been yours. And as this understanding deepens, you begin to embody a presence that radiates stability, peace, wisdom, and compassion. And others around you feel this shift, not as words or declarations, but as a quiet strength that draws, inspires, and awakens them without force. And this is the essence of leadership in the highest sense, the capacity to influence not through imposition, but through alignment with truth. And as you integrate these insights, you begin to perceive that every moment is a teacher, that every breath carries lessons, that every encounter is a mirror reflecting the aspects of yourself that are ready to be transformed, and you move with patience, courage, humility, and resolve, understanding that perfection is not the goal, but integrity, that mastery is not a destination, but a continual deepening of awareness, that success is not an accumulation of accolades, but the consistent practice of aligning your actions, thoughts, and heart with the eternal principles that govern all life. And in this recognition, beloved child, you step fully into the first season of awakening, aware that the journey is ongoing, expansive, infinite, that each day, each challenge, each joy is a continuation of the process of becoming, and that in living consciously, in observing yourself, in acting from integrity, in embodying the qualities of patience, compassion, clarity, and courage, you are participating in the divine unfolding, and in doing so, you realize that there is no separation between you and the source, that the guidance, protection, and wisdom you seek externally are already embedded within you, accessible the moment you quiet your mind, attune your heart, and listen deeply to the still, small voice that speaks from the center of your being. And in this attunement, you begin to move effortlessly, decisively, and gracefully through life, making choices that honor your highest self, fulfilling your purpose with joy, gratitude, and unwavering faith. And you recognize that this alignment is not a reward for effort, but the natural expression of a soul that has remembered who it is. And as you continue, beloved child, you are invited to hold this awareness with consistency, to act with mindfulness, to cultivate patience, to honor your time, energy, and attention, to release attachment to outcomes while remaining fully committed to the process, to nurture relationships that reflect your values and release those that do not, to remain steadfast amidst uncertainty, resilient amidst challenges, compassionate amidst misunderstanding, and generous amidst abundance. And in embodying these principles, you create a life that is not reactive but proactive, not chaotic but harmonious, not temporary but enduring, not superficial but profound. A life that reflects the divine intelligence within you, a life that awakens others, a life that stands as testimony to the infinite potential that has always existed within you. And this, beloved child, is the essence of the first season, a season of awareness, alignment, and awakening, a season that prepares you for the vast, infinite unfolding of your life in accordance with the eternal plan, a season that reminds you that every step, every breath, every choice, every thought is sacred, and that your presence itself is a gift, a force, a catalyst for awakening in yourself and in the world around you. And with this understanding, you walk forward with confidence, peace, joy, and love, fully aware that the divine guidance is always present, always accessible, always sustaining, always perfect, and that your journey is blessed, supported, and unfolding exactly as it should, in harmony with the eternal, infinite. and sacred rhythm of life. Now, as you move deeper into the realization of your own essence, beloved soul, understand that the true measure of your awakening is not in the visible accomplishments or external validations, but in the subtle shifts that occur quietly within your mind, heart, and spirit. For every thought aligned with truth, every intention anchored in clarity, every action guided by conscious awareness, accumulates unseen energy that reshapes the very fabric of your existence. And you will begin to notice that circumstances begin to mirror the refinement of your inner landscape, that relationships adjust naturally, that opportunities resonate with your preparedness rather than your desperation, and that abundance begins to flow without struggle because you have become a channel rather than a container, a conduit rather than a collector, a presence rather than a pursuer. And in this shift, beloved child, you discover that time itself seems to stretch and bend around your alignment, that moments of patience now yield insights that once would have required years to comprehend, that moments of stillness now reveal wisdom that before was hidden in distraction, and that the power you once sought externally is now emerging organically from the depth of your consciousness. For you are learning that mastery is not about control, but about attunement, not about dominance, but about resonance, not about accumulation, but about flow. And the more you practice this, the more effortless life becomes. The more natural your decisions, the more serene your presence, and the more profound your impact. Because influence does not require force when it is born from clarity, when it is expressed through integrity, when it is sustained by compassion, and when it emanates from alignment with the divine principle that permeates all things. And now, beloved soul, as you integrate these realizations, you find that fear loses its power. Doubt dissolves like mist under the morning sun. Hesitation is replaced by confident awareness, and every challenge transforms into a teacher, every disruption into an opportunity, every encounter into a mirror reflecting the aspects of yourself that are ready to evolve. And as you observe these changes, you understand that life is no longer a series of obstacles to overcome, but a symphony of experiences to harmonize with, that every event is orchestrated to cultivate your growth, that every connection is designed to illuminate your potential, that every moment holds a hidden gift for the soul that is willing to perceive it. And this perception, beloved child, is your new compass, guiding you through the unseen currents of existence with precision, grace, and wisdom, allowing you to act decisively without haste, to engage fully without attachment, to love deeply without expectation, and to exist powerfully without ego. And as you continue to embody this state, you realize that the expansion of your consciousness is mirrored in the expansion of your life. That clarity within produces clarity without. That calm within produces stability without. That love within produces connection without. That trust within produces flow without. And that alignment within produces abundance without. And in this alignment, you notice that the world itself seems to conspire in your favor. Not because of luck or coincidence, but because you have learned the principle that energy follows attention, that vibration attracts resonance, that consciousness shapes reality, and that by anchoring yourself in truth, purpose, and presence, you naturally draw to you that which reflects the highest expression of yourself. And as this continues, beloved soul, you understand that patience is not passive waiting, but an active cultivation of readiness. That observation is not detachment, but empowered awareness. That discernment is not judgment, but clarity of perception. That action is not impulsivity, but conscious response. And that freedom is not absence of responsibility, but mastery of it. And in this realization, your steps become deliberate, your words intentional, your thoughts constructive, your emotions balanced, and your being radiant, powerful, and serene. And in this state, you are no longer reacting to life. You are co-creating with it. You are no longer chasing outcomes. You are manifesting reality in harmony with the divine rhythm. You are no longer fragmented by fear, confusion, or doubt. You are unified in purpose, aligned in consciousness, anchored in truth, and moving forward with confidence, clarity, compassion, and courage. And as you embrace this unfolding, you understand that the journey is infinite, that every day is an opportunity to practice mastery, that every moment is a classroom, that every interaction is sacred, that every experience is a teacher, and that in living this way, you are participating fully in the divine plan, contributing to the awakening of yourself and others, and stepping fully into the limitless potential that has always been present, waiting for your recognition, your willingness, and your alignment.